Well, good evening, everybody. I bid you welcome to the Order of Velvet by tonight. And I wasn't sure that I was even going to have a show because I wasn't sure how long it was going to take me to finish painting all the projects I started. But I am glad to announce I am done. I finished painting the whole entire upper floor, spare bedroom. My office got started with my office first, which is different. That was a while ago. Then I did the spare room, which is like going to be a gym room once I get it together in January. Then I did the hallway area. Then I did the foyer, which was massive and tall. And then I did the living room in sections. And the pantry was a big thing. It was an accent wall. And then I worked my way into sections of the kitchen. And this has been an ongoing project for a couple of months. And I did it. I finished it before Christmas. And then I realized, well, I could do a Thursday stream. I'd spent all today cleaning and putting things back together. And I thought, and I seen this article, of course, about Dracula-land. And I thought, yeah, I want to talk about that because that's kind of fun. So we're going to have a fun part in the first part. And then the second part is something, it's more like vampires of the gaming system. We're going to talk about Roblox. I was watching an interview with Sean Ryan on how dangerous it is, and we're going to get there. It's something I want to talk about. My son was big into video games. He was never on Roblox, but it's something that I think parents need to talk about, how dangerous this is and how these systems are not doing anything about it. But we'll get to that in the second half. And some of you might be able to help me out because I'm not a gamer and I don't know a lot. I'm just learning this. I ask my son questions all the time. And yeah, it's a thing of concern. I don't think, now that I know what I know about the internet, I don't even think kids should be on the internet at all. At least before 14, 15, they should be like, no internet, because they're so vulnerable. And that's vampiric for sure. But we're going to start off with the Dracula theme park in Romania, of all places. And when I read this, I was like, are they real? Are they serious? Like, for seriously real? And they are seriously real. And we're going to get into that. But before we get into that, remember, if you're not subscribed or you're coming to this afterwards, subscribe to the channel, thumbs up, put a comment. When you click that thumbs up button, it helps the algorithm. The longer you watch the stuff, the algorithm, you can train the algorithm to give you what it wants. If you watch rage stuff, it'll give you more rage stuff. If you watch my stuff, it'll give you more of my stuff. If you watch Candace Owens, it will give you more Candace Owens. If you watch, I've been looking at all these crazy influencers and the fraud. If you don't like them, just scroll past it. We can actually train the algorithm to give it what we want. So don't forget to do that. And of course, all the links are on the website at melissadonharris.com. And you can see my logo is up here in the corner. That's the new logo. Still with my kitty cat. I told Geronimo, my cat, that he's the magical velvet bite cat. That's supposed to be him with the moon on his butt. That's Geronimo. He's our magical protective boy, our little tabby. So I didn't have a chance to get in and change. I've been changing and working on a lot of designs. And I've been working on a lot of stuff to, as I go on the show, I keep learning what it's about more, what I'm doing as everything gets into play. So the website's I've designed a new one. Nothing's published yet. I'm making sure everything fits. And so by the new year, it'll roll in. But this is a little, how the logo changed a little bit. So let's see who's in the room so far. We got a few of you streaming because you guys love the vampire. The vampire folklore is going to stay on the Thursdays because it's so much fun. And apparently it's a big thing. If they're opening up a theme park in Romania, vampires must be a big thing. Okay, so we've got Incognito in the room. That's my husband. Give a big hello to Incognito. Jonacide. Apparently Incognito can't see Jonacide. I can see Jonacide. And he says, I mean, good for Romania, but I'd rather go to Buffy the Vampire Slayer land. Oh, I like Buffy, but I don't I'd be excited, except for I know they're gonna Disneyfy it, and then I want it to be like the Forest of the Impaled. Like I want a historical experience. I don't want the Disneyland experience. So I know it won't be good. We got Pyramid 7. Oh, Kick. We are streaming on Kick. I opened up a thing on Kick. So we're on YouTube, Twitch. We are on our two platforms, the Patreon platform, which you can go support us on Patreon for as little as $2 a month. There's ranges. That's what I like about Patreon. There's ranges. So you can go order a Velvet Bite. All the links are on the website, of course, melissadonharris.com. But we've got someone here on Kick trying to sell me some viewers. I think that might be a little bit sleazy, senseless Coda bot boy. Pyramid 7, good to see you guys in here. Remember, thumbs up the show right now on the YouTube because we're getting closer and closer to monetizing this YouTube. It's so exciting. I'm excited about Dracula theme park, but like I said, I'm so niche. I don't want the family experience. I want the historical tour. I'm going to pop my image out and I'm going to give you a visual of what they're saying they want it to kind of look like. I know people are, I don't know if this is the official plans or this is what people want it to look like, but I'm going to pop myself out and then I'm going to bring up an overlay. So my voice should still be working. If it's not, tell me. That's the Dracula land. How it's perceived, I guess. I don't know. Maybe that's someone's hope of what's going to be. I don't know if that's the official plans, but it's in the making. I don't know. Eric Joseph, Merrick, I hope Dracula, the novel, went well. I think he's been reading it. Good evening. Okay, so you can hear me. So when I pop my camera out, it automatically mutes me. So anyways, that was the Dracula land that I showed you. Just give you a visual of it. If you're listening on podcast later, I apologize you couldn't see it. So now I know that will mute my mic when I pop me out. That's unfortunate. All right. Renee, Mrs. Genocide. It's weird that you can't see him on YouTube. That's so strange. You're invisible, John. It's like you put the Harry Potter, his cloak on, and nobody can see you. That's actually what this reminds me of. I'll just put it in front of me right now. It kind of feels like Dracula meets Harry Potter. And I mean, like, this looks like a pirate ship in the middle. So I think these are someone's renditions or fantasies of what it could be. And apparently it's like $1 billion being spent on it. I don't know. I'm sure Romania is all like, yeah, they're seeing like ka-ching, ka-ching dollar signs. But how many people do you think that this would be as prevalent as something like Disneyland? Do you think like masses of people are going to go to it? I'm not so sure, but we'll check out some articles. We'll check out some videos. See what they say about it. I had a chat with ChatGPT, and after I read the article, we'll go into this because I was like, what slogans could we use? Like, we could make our own Dracula land and have a little bit of fun. And what could we use from the book, you know? And then, of course, I want not only the book, but I want there to be like Vlad the Impaled Forest. Like, I really think it should be like a horror theme where we actually are terrified. Like, they make us dress up like the Turks or something, and we go through this forest of the Impaled, and we're like, we ain't messing with Vlad, kind of thing. Yeah, that's what I'm all about. So we're gonna go check out this article. I'm getting twisted. I'm like, I want the real experience. To heck with the Mickey Mouse. I'm not into the Mickey Mouse, but I know in order to make it work for the masses, they're gonna It's funny. There's a Harry Potter ad at the side of this article when I opened it up. They're going to do that. Okay, so 1 billion euros, not dollars, euros. Dracula theme park to open in Europe with 40 attractions, 6 lands, and drone shows. It says, when you think of vampires, Dracula will almost certainly come to mind. Bram Stoker's iconic character has seen so many iterations from the original novel to the 1992 horror film and modern television adaptations. Now, a new Dracula theme park is set to open up, bringing the vampire and his world to life through a range of attractions. I bet you Bram Stoker never saw this one coming. Like this is certainly a way to immortalize Dracula in a way I wouldn't have even seen. She kind of talks this dresses like the Turks. Seriously, it could happen. You could pay like for an extra tour and you're all dressed up and you go through this impaled forest and you're like, get me out of here. I can't take it anymore. Okay, that might be the adult part of the theme park. I wouldn't let your kid do that. I'm like, just like I wouldn't let your kid on Roblox, I wouldn't let your kid kind of go dressing up like the Turks and like, you're gonna die, you're gonna get impaled. Because it's a painful way to die. That would be more like an extreme adventure for adults. And they do crazy stuff like that here with some of those like Halloween type of things. You literally have to sign a waiver to go in there because you're like risking your life, and it's almost like torture chamber from hell. So the park's gonna have 6 themed lands. The first being the Moonlight District, the Grand Entrance, and there'll be a whole range of attractions such as Transylvanian Railway, that's gay, Double Carousel, projection and drone show, and a Hollywood Vampires immersive exhibition. See, there's no Forest of the Impaled. They're not. I'm not going if there's not that. Other lands include Family Kingdom. This is disappointing. I could just go to Disneyland. Mythical creatures from around the world, which boasts a 4D cinema ride and a toddler play area. Okay, I never foresaw Dracula having a toddler play area, but I guess you've got to make the money, right? So here's some of the pictures that I showed you before. This doesn't look like Dracula. This looks like Dubai. Like this is like there's limos pulling up here. What's going on? There will also be a Transylvania section, Port of New Orleans, and London Town. I guess they're expanding it into like into the Anne Rice vampire. And you got to include London because he goes over there. The crown jewel of the park, of course, will be Dracula's castle with a roller coaster, a maze, interactive exhibit, and an artificial lake, as well as a high-speed ride through the catacombs. I haven't heard Forest of the Impaled yet, so they're obviously sticking to the book and not history. I'm so disappointed. Dracula Land will have a large arena at its core with shopping, dining, entertainment options spread across multiple floors along with a stunning skyline terrace. It'll also be able to host anything from volleyball, ice skating, vampire MMA competitions. Plus, it will house a state-of-the-art esports venue developed in collaboration with Europe's esports president. Oh, esports, not esports. Esports president with cutting-edge technology and world-class facilities. And according to current estimates, Dracula Land will generate more than 5,000 jobs in tourism, technology, and services. You could be like Renfield or Mina or one of his many victims. This is interesting. According to current estimates, it says expected to welcome approximately 3 million visitors annually in the first phase. Created by Chris Lang, former creative director at Europa Park, the project marks one of the most significant theme park developments currently underway in Europe. Dragos Dobrescu, founder of Dracula Land, said, Dracula Land brings together everything I've learned in real estate, discipline, rigor, vision, and the ability to keep complex theme, but it doesn't bring in Gothic history at all. No history. This is disappointing. They said at the end, we'll skip a couple of paragraphs here. We are not just talking about the theme park, but about a cultural asset that will strengthen Romania's place on the world tourism map and function as long-term economic engine. Well, last week, Yeah. Okay, look at this. Look at this. We got some good comments here. I mean, last week we talked about the unfortunate young man who's disappeared around where Castle Dracula is. So maybe now people, instead of like trying to go on a dangerous adventure, will kind of go. There's a lot of people on Kick that are like scummy. I gotta we don't want that on Restream. Anyways, there's a lot of people who are like safe adventure, but it's family fun and it's kind of gross. It's just it's like the churches today are like mega churches. They're like Costco on crack for churches. So here's a good idea. Jonasai says they need wolves and bats like a petting zoo. I would go for that. That would be cool. They had like creatures of the night, like owls and bats and stuff you could see. Maybe that would be interesting. A Dracula petting zoo. And if they were really good and they were like the novel, they would bring in these like occult aspects. Like there's one part in the novel when Jonathan Harker is going in the carriage, they'd have a carriage ride, like your Jonathan Harker being brought to the castle, and you'd have like this ring of flame. He has to go through this ring of flame, and this flame is it's supposed to be this part of the folklore on, I think it's at St. George's. There's some celebration, and it's like all this folklore and evil, and there's all these folkloric stuff sitting there right there. It's gold. It's gold, but they're not going to go for that. They're going to go for watered down Harry Potter vampire. I just know, I can just feel it. I feel it. I asked ChatGPT. I was like, ChatGPT, what do you think what should be? So let's go see what ChatGPT said. Things that we could say about Dracula. Quotes for the theme. I put, what are some quotes for the theme park? So they think you should have a gothic welcome entrance, and someone should be there saying, "Welcome to my house. Enter freely and of your own will." Or, "Listen to them, the children of the night. What music they make." Count Dracula. They said, "Count Dracula, dark rides." You could say, "I am Dracula, I bid you welcome." Jonathan Harker's quote, "The castle is a veritable prison, and I am a prisoner." You could be like trapped somewhere. Vampire lore, educational areas. See, I like the way ChatGPT is thinking. "The blood is the life" by Renfield. You could do quotes like, "For the dead travel fast." "Once again, welcome to my house." They could have a Transylvanian forest and outdoor paths. That's me, but not just a forest. I want impaled people. I want kids to learn about the brutality of history at a young age. No, it's an adult forest. It's like, you know, for the people who want to live life on the edge. Quotes were, "The very silence seemed full of whispering." And horror and fate themes, it said, "Despair has its own calms," or "We are in God's hand." If it was a religious park, I think they're going to stay away from the religion. So they're saying you could have merch shirts, short form quotes, "Children of the night," "The blood is the life," "Enter freely," or "I bid you welcome," "For the dead travel fast." Interesting stuff. Different areas that we could adapt from Dracula. It could happen. It could happen. I'm not totally convinced that I would be in big with the kind of theme parks. I'm kind of over the theme parks. I took my son to Disneyland a couple. I've been a couple times. I took him once when he was 6. He's been a couple more times, and it just doesn't really appeal to me. I know my husband, for a fact, would not want to be around hundreds, thousands of kids screaming about Dracula. And it's obviously going to be watered down from what you can tell, and it looks like it's going to be ka-ching, ka-ching, like a lot of money. And only people with a lot of money are going to be able to go to Dracula Land. Now, we got some footage. I always like to do a little TikTok. Let's see. There's also the question, though, of course, as to whether or not this is watering down culture. It is. And you know what? In my opinion, these theme parks are kind of like globalization. They take everything in people's culture and turn it into this sterile cartoon version, and that's literally kind of the process of globalization, which started really with, I'm sure there's theme parks all over and Six Flag parks long before, but it went into overdrive with Disneyland. You can thank Walt for that one. Let's check this little tidbit out here from Simply Sick 2.
Building a $1 billion Dracula theme park. I think that's pretty awesome, and I'm sure a lot of people, I mean, those people that like my teeth just because they look like sharp fangs, you know? I would only imagine that there's going to be a lot of people going. Romania is moving forward with an ambitious tourism project as Dracula-land, name could use some work, enters development near Bucharest. The billion-euro resort is planned as a large-scale destination inspired by Transylvania legends and European folklore, with an expected opening window between 2026 and 2027. The project aims to attract international visitors by blending myth, history, and modern theme park design. The resort is set to feature multiple theme lands, dozens of attractions, Gothic-style castles, dark rides, and roller coasters, along with hotels, a water park, spa facilities, entertainment venues, and retail areas. So what?
Okay, so like I said, I'm not convinced that the history is going to be real history, raw history. I think it's going to be like a Disneyfied history, a history that's palatable for everyone, if for lack of a better word. Now let's see. Some people are calling it insane. I'm wondering, like for me, this is a clear indication of globalization. Let's have a look at, this is Universal Dracula. So they have a Dracula element in Universal Studios because, of course, Dracula is originally bought to theater by Universal in 1931. So let's check this out. I've actually been to Universal. I have a picture of me with a Dracula like this. It was fun, but you know, here we go.
I thought you can't be out. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Who says I can be out during the day?
He says so.
Who are you to say this?
I'm the dad.
The father,
Yeah, the dad.
the patriarch of this family.
Yes.
I am the vampire. Everything below me is below me.
Doctor, you can have my daughter.
Oh, you're gonna give her up that easily?
You're barely a snack, my dear.
Oh,
But please, all I want you to do is enjoy yourself. Keep your
definitely.
heart pumping, please.
Oh, yes, thank you.
This is funny because when I went there, he was posing for pictures with people, and he'd pretend to bite your neck, and you'd get a picture with him going rah, and it probably wasn't that same guy, but a guy dressed up like Dracula was there. It was fun, but it's weird because it's this whole transformation of real horror and real terror that are on the pages of Dracula's novel. You can, on the pages of Frankenstein, all these horror novels that are real people's real nightmares and fears about where society's going. And it's kind of comicalizing that. That's part of globalization, in my opinion. I've said this before, but it makes it feel like a safe scare. And, you know, as technology develops and we go different places in culture, I suppose that is the route that it takes, is to make it more marketable. Like I said, more palatable. But then it's like, what happens to the actual culture? From what you can see, like if you just look at places around here, like Costco and all these chains, it destroys the heart culture of America, like mom and pop shops, locally owned businesses, you know, those heritage buildings, those get kind of wiped out. And as much as they think this will help culture, it'll definitely help business. In Romania, I think the raw culture, I think this stuff actually poses a threat to the real heritage and the folklore of the people. But it's very seductive in its own way. This theme park, massive corporate entertainment box stores. I mean, you can keep listing them over and over again. They are very empty and just trivial. And it's all about plastic crappy merch. I'm sure there's going to be ritzy hotels and people will be racing for it, and you'll see all these influencers on their way to Dracula Land, I'm sure. But it's very empty, and it feels empty for me. I highly doubt if I go to Romania, that's going to be top of my list, is going to Dracula Land. I would rather visit historical locations. I don't know if you guys are all with me on that one, but that's where I sit on that. Also, as we, this is going to be a short show, I think, today. And we are going to be doing the show on Sunday on the winter solstice. We'll have a winter solstice show Sunday starting at 3 p.m. Eastern, right on this very channel that you're going to subscribe to now because you want to watch it. But theme parks, and this isn't the point of my show, I'm not going to get into that, but theme parks are often being talked about by certain conspiracy theorists. Scooter Boy wants to know, from a 1 to 10, how big can you burp? Oh, I'm if I was like really a teenager, I would have been up for that one. Scooter Boy, I would have been like, all right, let's gear this up, but the mind's just not at that place anymore. Can't help you out with that one. Very funny. So we're getting some hits on Kick. You can subscribe on Kick, by the way. Links on the website, melissadonharris.com. But theme parks, anyways, people are writing a lot about theme parks and the danger of them, and it's all connected to child trafficking. There's a weird way to segue into Roblox, but there is this idea that theme parks are being used as hubs of center points. People have talked about this with Disneyland, allegedly. I can't claim this, that I have any knowledge of this, that I know this, but you have to be careful with these family-orientated theme parks. And just like Dubai, if everyone's like, let's go to Dubai, but a lot of people don't realize that stuffed behind the scenes is slave labor, like literally slave labor building Dubai, where they trap people and make them work to build up this new city. And how did it get built so fast? Well, it's slave labor. There's documentaries on this, and people don't seem to care. Jonaside says, I'd go to the true Dracula castle, whichever one that is. But maybe spend a day at Dracula Land. Yeah, you can check it out. I bet you it's going to be like Disneyland, where it's like, $200 a person just to get in for the day. So you can do that. But I mean, curiosity would have me want to know what it's about, but I tend to want to go to the historical buildings where you can feel the energy of history. You can feel that something has happened there, that this is the real thing. That's not the real thing. It's like when one time I said I want to go to Paris and see Eiffel Tower, which I did eventually. And I remember at the time, this business partner who was a drug addict who stole money from me and my ex-husband at the time, a real shallow mofo. He actually was on Dr. Phil. Years later, I seen him on Dr. Phil. It was a crazy episode. It was nuts. It was nuts. I think I might have even talked about it before, but he was totally on Dr. Phil. But this guy is like, oh, well, why would you need to go to Paris and see Eiffel Tower, Melissa? You can just go down to Vegas. There's an Eiffel Tower. He looked at me seriously, said, there's an Eiffel Tower right there. And I was like, are you retarded? Don't answer that, bro, because I know the answer. He's definitely retarded. But people like that who are really shallow, and our world's getting like that more and more, they're just like, well, what's the big deal? There's a Dracula castle in Dracula Land. There's a Dracula's castle in this land. And you're like, no, I want some history. I want something that means something, that has more than this shallow world that we live in. And a lot of people don't get that. So before we get into Roblox, Eric says, I want to visit the castle, ride the carriage in the forest, nothing playful, bring on the danger and the adrenaline. Yeah, you kind of want to feel like you're Jonathan Harker, right? You're going into the land of the unknown. Kirby's in. Welcome, Kirby. It's good to see you here. So what's up with Roblox? Like I said, I can reference this with my experience with my son, and like I said, I call them the vampires of the gaming world. They're like attraction hubs. There's like these little amusement parks, but they're video game hubs. And I don't really understand how they go and happen, but they are a plethora for predators. And it's not even as simple as that. You can go over to Sean Ryan's channel. We're going to look at some clips from Sean Ryan in a little minute. We're just going to talk about this. You can go over and watch the full show. So we're just giving credit to Sean Ryan, even though I know he's a CIA operative, but this is really important. And so I am using his clips because they're bringing something to our attention, because so many kids are online gaming and parents are totally just letting them unvetted right on the internet in these things, playing Roblox, playing Minecraft, and they have no idea what's going on. And you get these influencers. They've got their kids online, and in their videos they're putting their teenage daughters in like bathing suits, and they have no idea that predators are watching them, or they don't care. It's a crazy world. There are literally vampiric predators everywhere looking at your children. And when I first joined Facebook, I think it was 2007, I just had family members on. We didn't even have smartphones. I had no idea. Nobody knew. Social media is like this experimentation. Nobody knew what was going to happen with this stuff. And so I would just put pictures of my kid, Halloween, this, that, for family and friends to see. And then my Facebook got really big as I was podcasting. Like I had 5,000 friends, and people started behaving really weirdly. There was some weird stuff. Like one person invited me on the show, and they had like a reel of photos of me, and they started showing pictures of my son on their live stream, and I lost it on the live stream and started yelling at them. And so I realized, and my son had asked me like, hey, I don't want my pictures online. So that's how I actually downloaded all my information and my pictures, because it'd been like years, like probably almost 9 or 10 years of just albums. Like, we did this for Halloween. We went to Disneyland. Oh, we went to Hawaii. So my family could see. And then it exploded, and you had all these people on. And I thought, this is dangerous. And so I downloaded everything, and I opened up a new Facebook, because it was too much to delete everything. It was way too much work. And I added the essential people, and I just deleted that whole profile and took his stuff right off out of respect for him. And he was right. Huge issue. I think these people who market their children all the time are very weird. And it's just this whole idea that transfers into the gaming land. Like, they've got, my son used to always be on was it Steam Deck? I would buy him gift certificates to that. But I would always go on his laptop and check his, like, the Discord servers, and look in there and make sure people weren't leaving messages. Like, I was paranoid about it. But he was older. He didn't even have a cell phone until he was 13-ish. And then he didn't even have his own data. And he didn't get data till he was 14 or 15. And then he started playing on these things. So he's older, and I was watching him, and I would tell him about this stuff. And I would tell him about, don't share porn, don't go to porn sites, don't do this stuff. It's dangerous. People, they're predator, and they use people for these, the PORN sites. Like, they use and kidnap people and get them to do all performative stuff. So he never really got into that. And I also said, like, hey, there's feds on these Discord servers, there's predators, there's all sorts of stuff. And I mean, he's an adult now. But I didn't even let him have TV in his bedroom or anything like that when he was young. And he never had cell phones when he was young. And people are giving their kids all of this, like 5, 6, 7 years old. Their kids are on these servers talking to who knows who. And so Sean Ryan interviewed this guy who basically is, what he's doing is, they're calling them vigilantes on Discord. They're calling them vigilantes. They're not on Discord. They're going on Roblox, because it's, I guess, one of the worst platforms. And they're basically spying and checking out people and predators and trying to find them. Because I keep saying Discord. Roblox isn't doing anything about this, parents, at all. And apparently in FBI, there's only 7 people on this, working on this stuff, looking at this stuff. And it's really graphic stuff. And what they're doing is, there's all these predators picking off your kids. They might even be kidnapping them, child trafficking them, not even doing just essay stuff and porn or PDF file stuff, not even just that. They're actually engaging them and trafficking and kidnapping children and offering them other people. Like it gets crazy. And when confronted about this and realizing that they had people like this, instead of doing the responsible thing like you're supposed to, Roblox did I think a press release and basically started shaming these vigilantes that are going on there, finding these people out and are like trying to get rid of vigilantes. And they're keeping this going because it makes them money. They don't care that your kids are getting preyed on, damaged, kidnapped, trafficked, whatever is going on, because it makes them money. And they literally came after the vigilantes who were trying to get rid of these people and have left it operational for these predators. That's it in a nutshell. Allegedly, I'll say. And we're going to watch a couple clips. I got to go to my YouTube. But it's so disturbing, and people have to know this. Get your kids off Roblox. And if you have any other video ones, your kids, if they're under 16, shouldn't be on these things by themselves. They just should not be on these things. Let's go into here and we will look at. I saved it to my research clips. Yeah, we've got a whole bunch. We're going to play them in the playlist. It goes down the list and we'll just watch them and do a commentary. And this is on Sean Ryan. Sean Ryan lets you use his clips YouTube. He says it's fine. Just go and watch the full episode over at Sean Ryan Show.
One of the most popular games that the 764 cult is luring their victims out of.
Roblox, Minecraft, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat. Roblox is the one that I'll focus on the most because that seems like the majority of the issues right now.
I know little kids that use that game.
There's 75 million active daily users. They just banned a young guy who was actually groomed and had issues for himself on Roblox, who has a popular YouTube channel. He started catching predators on Roblox. There were 6 arrests. I saw 6 mugshots that came from this one guy. His name is Schlep. Roblox sent him a cease and desist letter for being a vigilante on their platform. They did a press release saying they're banning vigilantes from Roblox.
They want these people on there, and your children are on here, and I'm telling you, you better get them off. It is going to happen to you. What parent keeps their kid on there after we're telling them this?
People in positions of power where they have access to children, that's where predators end up. And people are surprised by it.
So yeah, we're not just talking about your average anyone. Like there's people of power. There's people who can traffic children easily and get them. This is really serious, and Roblox is trying to block this because they make money from it. John aside said Roblox lost billions of dollars when this came out. JD Delay did a lot on this. Yeah. They should, and people, get your kids off there. I would also say if your kid's under a certain age, you shouldn't be letting them do anything online where they're interacting with other people. Don't let them do it because you're literally sacrificing your children to the predator demon. You are literally giving them up to the vampire PDF perverts. You're literally giving them up, and I'm glad my son wasn't on this in those days. He's an adult now. I can't stop him if he wants to be. I don't think he does Roblox. Renee says, my sons were on there all the time. They had no idea. They were 24 and 25 and luckily never ran into that shit. Yeah. Well, they're going like kids are 5, 6. When they're in an adult, I mean, you could probably manipulate an adult, but if they're an adult, it's, they can have better discernment. But when they're like under 16, even 16, when they're really young, they have no discernment, and they'll believe if that person says, I'm a 7-year-old like you, they'll believe it. They have no idea, and it's so dangerous. And most people, I'll give them that. We didn't know what the internet was going to be. We had no idea. This is a total social experiment. Anyways, let's go to the next video here where he says kids are getting recruited on Roblox. Then they'll recruit kids to find other kids.
Lured from Roblox. In one case, the person was already arrested, threw a brick through the window of a pregnant teen's car. The shock put her into cardiac arrest. her and the baby. The guy was arrested for being part of a 764 group and was charging $50 to $200 for bricking, swatting, and doxing services. So bricking means show up at somebody's house, either throw a brick through their window, shoot it up with a gun, vandalize it, break windows, record the video, and post it. 22-year-old member of one of the groups kidnapped and a 12-year-old girl in Virginia. He was convicted and sentenced to 350 years in prison. 17-year-old member Nino live streamed himself attacking an 82-year-old man, and 2 weeks later, a 74-year-old woman on video who he believed to be Roma, he was only sentenced to 14 years. Hurt an old man terribly and an old woman gruesomely, just to prove to these people that he had what it takes to be part of their group.
What the is
So it's cult, like this is cult like psycho satanic activity that's going on there as well. So it's not just affecting, they're getting young people, they're grooming them, they're messing them up. It's like MK Ultra crazy, and they're sending them out there to attack people, dox people, SWAT people, ritual, beat them up, unalive, all that stuff on the population. They're MK Ultraing people into psychopaths. This is the new MK Ultra psychopath, Ted Bundy, crazy stuff. It's happening on Roblox and maybe other platforms. That like absolute craziness. So we'll get into the next clip, which is Roblox is hosting Charlie Kirk unaliving Sims.
wrong with these people?
And there's a ton of Charlie Kirk nation simulators in Roblox that are publicly facing that any child can join, that are very graphic. Some are photorealistic, some are cartoon, where they can play the role of the shooter. Any child can join this, and I have photos of it so you can see.
This is on a most popular kids game in the world?
Yes. If you join my Discord server, you'll see real CP. In this case, they're straight up saying where to go watch it. And this is in-game, like in a children's game that should be blocking all of this. Kirk knew it was coming, and you can see the photo of it happening on this character's shirt. There's a game, you can literally go on the Roblox website
Hey, Charlie Kirk.
and just press the play button and just play it. You can use real Robux to buy these t-shirts. That means Roblox is making 30% off every sale of that t-shirt.
Roblox is making 30% off selling a gamer skin, like an outfit for your character to wear, that is Charlie Kirk shot in the neck, bleeding to death.
Yeah. So Roblox, you can buy the skin of the Freedom shirt, and then and they make money off of this. They're making money off of that. It's really twisted that Roblox is doing this. I think how it is though is that people can come on there and develop a game and just put it on there and host it on Roblox, and they get away with it. I think that's how it's working. And look, I'm not telling you to do this. This is crazy. If you did this, this would be very, very bad of you. But if you see any of these gift certificates in the store, it would be very bad if you picked them off the shelf and hid them so no one could see them. That would be the wrong thing to do. Wink, wink. It would be the wrong thing to do. You got to do things like this and show that you're not. I mean, this is just insane. Let's go for another clip here. Exposing the world's largest online video game.
Largest children's game in the world doesn't want people on the platform saving kids. In fact, they made a press release discouraging it. You're paying this platform money. Millions of people that are going to listen to this, and I'm telling you, you are complicit in this.
If you're familiar with Fortnite, there's a similar in-game currency called V-Bucks in Fortnite, and Roblox is called Robux, which allows them to buy like outfits in the game or access to do fun things in actual kids' games. There's these public games where developers, like you and I could be a developer for Roblox by just signing up to be a developer, put out a game, Roblox will host the game, everything that's purchased by these children within game, they make 30% commission on. When they leave up a server that is talking about child, and then there's other servers where they're blatantly wearing 764 shirts as characters. They got upside down crosses. They got satanic symbols. They have people in the chat logs talking about grooming, but they're profiting directly off of this stuff.
The guy.
So Roblox is making money off of grooming, satanic culture, MK Ultra, cults, mass psychosis. They're selling skins and they're making money off of it because any developers can come on there, and if they're sick and psychotic enough, they can just design this stuff and put it up there, and then Roblox collects 30%. So don't buy people gift certificates this Christmas for that. Don't buy your kids. Don't let your kids on it. shut it down. I mean, and the thing is if your kids have been on this long enough, they're probably addicted and absolutely insane. There's another podcast called the Dad Challenge Podcast, and he's a Canadian, and he goes through this as well. He's interesting to watch him because he's humorous, but he trashes all these influencers. He kind of does a stream about Roblox and how awful it is. None of our kids should be on this. Australia is passing a law, I think, or they're trying to, that prevents kids from under 16 even being on the internet and social media. They're trying to get kids off. This is a social experiment. CIA started the internet. This is the social experiment of our time to MK Ultra, brainwash and destroy our children and traffic them. I mean, all this stuff, all the depravity you can think of, they're doing it on this platform, and they're targeting children, and they either trafficking them, molesting them, brainwashing them, and sending them out to do satanic stuff and rituals and unaliving. It just gets too crazy. It gets crazy. I think the next video is hacker exposes child predator politician. They're like, politicians are going on here. Politicians. A U.S. politician is going on here as a predator on Roblox. No kidding.
The guy with the daughter in the bathtub. What happened?
So that's Nathan Larson. After I hacked his site, after I submitted it to the authorities, to all the news stations, he gets arrested with a 12-year-old girl. I don't think he got charged with, but he got the kidnapping charge. Nathan Larson then went to federal prison for that. To my knowledge, when you're a person like him, you're going to be separated in a federal prison from the regular inmates. Spoiler alert, but Nathan Larson's dead. The reason why he's dead is due to starvation. The news says that it's suicide. If I had to guess, the inmates that were responsible for feeding him just let him starve to death. I believe he deserved every second of that pain.
You and me both.
Okay, so I never heard about this before, that the people the people working in the prisons will just not feed somebody to get rid of them. I mean, I don't promote violence against or people, but this was a depraved politician who's using a Roblox to get to children. And like you said, he was caught with a 12-year-old girl that he kidnapped. This was a politician. In America, we know how depraved politicians are. We know the Jeffrey Epsteins. We know the island stuff. We know politicians are hiding dirty, sick, crazy stuff in elites. How do we know they're not on it? We know feds are on Discord servers all the time. We know the internet was created by the CIA. This is the ultimate crazy of our time. And only we can take our kids out of it. And only we can separate ourselves and get off the internet. You come and watch my show. We should all be watching small shows of people we know, not these big shows, because they are being pushed by a corporate algorithm. It's just a sick web of crazy stuff. I don't even have words for it. I'm actually gonna ask my son questions about this because he might know. I mean, he's an adult, but when he was like 15, 16, I know he did Minecraft, but he did it on the PlayStation, and he always had to play in front of me, and I was always there. And like I said, every day when he wasn't around after he go to school, I would check on his servers and stuff and go into the laptop and just tell him, oh yeah, I just did a defrag of your laptop or something. I was checking to make sure nobody was talking to him. And I'd be like, look, I would tell him. That person could say they're 15 and they could be some 40-year-old pervert. They could be some government. They could be the FBI trying to recruit people to do their patsy jobs. And I know that sounds crazy, but I'm not kidding about that. I'm absolutely not kidding about that. So the last one, Dark Side of Kids Games, it is actually from Next Momentia, but it's the same Sean Ryan show.
There's these public games where developers, like you and I, could be a developer for Roblox by just signing up to be a developer. Put out a game, Roblox will host the game, and then everything that's purchased by these children within-game, in-game purchases, they make 30% commission on.
Okay.
So when they leave...
That's the same one that we watched before, but here, let's type in. I'll see if I can find anything on Minecraft or anything like that. We'll watch that because so this is the Ryan Montgomery. He's the guy who was on his show. And so he talks about arrests that are happening. So let's see what he says.
Here's why you should keep your kids off Roblox. All of these arrests that you're seeing are very recent, and you can find them with a simple search. Seems like a pretty dangerous game to me. Stay safe. Here's why.
Those were Roblox arrests. So those are just a few people that had just been arrested recently for targeting children and people on Roblox. Absolutely insane. Let's see if I can find a different... Yeah, let's check this one out.
They don't even hide.
Com girl on cam / where the com girl's at. Com girl meaning like a girl.
They're telling you what they're going to do before.
They use code words too. The calm girl, they'll tell you, and they use code words to describe the type of girl and what she will do for you. Sick stuff, and they've got her, and they can lure her, they'll kidnap her, send you over. They have all these code words that they use, so you won't, if you're not familiar, you won't be able to tell right away. And the whole fact that Roblox banned people from searching this out because it was against their terms, and then they have not done anything about it. They could easily do something about this. They could easily make it more astringent to upload games and be on there. People should have to have ID. People should have to be vetted before they put games. They could do all sorts of things, but it would limit their money. So if that's what they're afraid of, limiting money, we have to do that and take away their money. Like just crazy stuff.
They do it.
Well, not all the time. Sometimes they lure them straight in here and they don't. In this case, they're straight up saying where to go watch it. And this is in game. Like in a children's game that should be blocking all of this.
So they're getting these girls to do stuff live in the system, and they'll tell them go here. It's like it's a game, I guess. They're saying it's a game, but it's this live, child. CP is child, PORN. You know what I mean? And so they get them to, they use these conversations. They're telling them, hey, we're going to be doing this at this time. You can go watch this here on our stream. And obviously they're hosting kidnapped kids or children to do horrendous acts, and young girls, and they'll say, what kind of girl you want? We got this kind of girl. They use all these codes. It's really disturbing.
Kirk knew it was coming. Hi, Gabby. And you can see the photo of it happening on this character's shirt. There's a game. You can literally go on the Roblox website.
So we've gone over that one. Let's see. I'll see if I can find a couple more because it is just so... Oh, here is the Dad Challenge podcast. He covered it. Let's listen to a few seconds of what he says about it.
Watch carefully.
With the commercial. No, don't watch carefully. We're going to skip this carefully.
Play button and just play it.
Maturity unknown. Ages 13 plus. 13.
You see this?
You're not a child. You're a man. So.
Okay. A commercial, 2 commercials right away. That's great.
That's crazy. That's. If your kids are on Roblox, you get them off right now. I'm urging you, please get them off Roblox.
Shit.
Yeah, you can use real V-Bucks to buy these t-shirts. Which, I'm not V-Bucks, I'm sorry, Robux. To buy these t-shirts. And, that means Roblox is making 30.
Let's go forward a bit here. Let's see what his chapters are.
Smart enough to not fall into this trap. It's all these things. That is not the case. They're wrong. They're wrong, and I can tell you with absolute certainty, I do this every day. 6, almost 7 days a week of my life is dedicated to this topic. And I don't have a child. And when I do, I don't know how I'm going to act as a parent, but I can tell you for absolute sure, this is not going to happen in my house. Mm-hmm. It's not going to happen. Yep. My kids are not going to be part of these games. They're not going to be part of social media until a later age. Yep. I understand there'll be friends that are going to hand them the phone. I know they're going to break the rules, but I want my, and look, I can't speak on what I can't. I don't know. Maybe I have a kid that defies everything that I say, and I'll eat my words at that time. But right now, I can't understand why you would even let your child play the game. Why would you buy them Robux in the game? Why would you?
Again, it's such a shame if people just took those Robux cards and,
yeeted them right across the store. You know,
I'm just gonna say this. My son would ask for me to buy those skins all the time with my credit card, and I would never do it. I would always I'd be like, ask me tomorrow, ask me the next day. Because he was playing Minecraft. There's also another one that they play. Fortnite. He doesn't play that anymore. But they want you to give them money, and I would never do it. I would never let him buy this stuff. And within a day or two, they forget about it and they don't even want it anymore. It's just impulse buying. That's the other thing. This stuff trains their brain to impulsively buy things right away, like almost like addicted, like gambling. And so I would just be like, no, you can't have that. No, you can't have that. I'm like, no, I don't get paid for a couple days. Ask me in a couple days. And I was always watching him on there. It's some of his friends that were in the PS4 that we had. They would like, I got on there one time. He was playing games with them, and he had this one kid screaming stuff. And I grabbed his headphones off of him. And I'm not going to tell you what I said to that kid, but I was like, hey, who do you think you are? I know who your mother is, and I'm going to call her. And he got off. He was off. He was like, oh, shoot. It's crazy. And we never had to deal with this as kids. And it was limited. I wouldn't let my son do a lot. And he was older, like 15, 16. Let's look at some more of this.
saying into the garbage can or something. Like, don't do that.
I have no partnership in Bark. I just like their company. I think they do a great job.
Imagine a software company had to emerge that makes probably millions of dollars because of the online proliferation of pedophiles and
okay, just one second. I want to hear what company that was, because apparently there's a company that's emerged for profit, obviously, that's trying to do something about this.
I could go on. I can keep going on a rant, but parents are going to make decisions for themselves. And the question that I'm going to get asked, and I get asked by everybody, is what can you do about it? Well, the answer is two things. I wish I had a better answer. It's either sign up for a monitoring software like Bark, because Bark is very good for what it does. It monitors for bullying, monitors for sexual type of activity, it monitors for suicidal ideations, all of those things. I have no partnership in Bark. I just like their company. I think they do a great job.
Imagine a software company had to emerge that makes probably millions of dollars because of the online proliferation of pedophiles and of disgusting pieces of shit and these people out here. A literal billion-dollar industry countering what these guys do in Target.
Custodio is another one that also monitors devices, but Bark is the one I know the most. They both, I'm sure, are great. And the most important one is being aware of what this stuff is. Do your research. Watch the news, Google search some of these terms on the news. 764 Group, The Com, Roblox, Predators on the internet. Watch some of these podcasts. Listen to some of Sean's episodes. Get yourself familiar so that when you have a conversation with your kid, when you decide it's the right age to talk to them about this or that, then you have less of a chance of them falling into this vicious cycle. And
okay, so we're actually going to go look that up. Let's go and see what this, because I'm not familiar with the 764 group. So let's Google that right now, live on the show. FBI Chicago PSA on 764, a violent online group. Wow. Let's see, AI mode. Let's see what it says. 764 is a global, decentralized network of violent online groups classified as a nihilistic, violent, extremist organization designated as a terrorist group by the United States and Canada. The network is notorious for targeting and exploiting vulnerable minors through a cycle of grooming, sextortion, and coercion to do extreme act of violence. Their characteristics are target and vulnerable use, sextortion, manipulation, coercion, extreme acts. They push ideologies rooted in nihilism and misanthropy, and they operate on all the platforms, including Discord, Roblox, Snapchat, and Telegram. I wouldn't be surprised if other one. You either petition these guys to do something about this or stop using it. And like, he gave you some suggestions. Go watch that Sean Ryan video, because he talks about Bark and other platforms that help limit this, but the best thing you could do is not allow your kids to do it. This is why people are homeschooling and everything. The history of the 764 group is the founder was Bradley Cadenhead. He founded it in 2021 in Stephenville, Texas. He was 15-year-old. The name 764 refers to the first 3 digits in his local zip code. Although Cadenhead was sentenced to 80 years in prison in 2023, the network has metastasized into a global movement with numerous splinter groups like so he had the 764. There's also the 676, the CVLT, the NLM, No Lives Matter, and the H311. As late of 2025, the FBI has opened hundreds of investigations and made multiple high-profile arrests, including leaders like Leonidas Varagianis and Prasanth Nepal Trippy. And apparently there's only like 7 different FBI agents even working on this. Right now, there are these groups. Just like I predicted this when I used to do a show on cults, I predicted that there would be tons of cults and groups like this online, and they're operating in all these gaming servers. Roblox, don't let your kids on Discord. I would even be like anything, PS4, anything that's online connected, they can get at your kids. It's not just going to be that. They'll find sneaky ways. Telegram, probably Signal, any kind of thing. Snapchat's a big one. My son, I wonder what TikTok, if TikTok is anything against this, because my son is on my TikTok and he's not on there very often because he actually works and he's an adult and he's always busy. But you've got to look at this stuff, especially if you have minors. Because not only are they targeting, but I guarantee you they can probably groom and recruit members to help do it as well. And they'll recruit them when they're really young, 14, 15, get them in there. They're part of a group. Renee says, I homeschooled my kids and took in my godson at 13. Yeah. That's why people are doing it, because the kids go to school and they hear all this stuff and they want to do it, and peer pressure. So go back to the Dracula. There is a new Dracula movie coming out in 2026. We'll have to talk about that in 2026. That'll be on the roster, Eric. Thank you so much. But yeah, this is crazy. This is essentially what I wanted to talk about. And look, anywhere they can go, any avenue, it doesn't matter if it's a theme park, online video game, churches, schools, teachers, like these sick people infiltrate everything. That is the nature of demons and evil behavior, is they infiltrate everywhere. This is your children. And there's so many parents out there, and there are like these parents that do online, like they're these influencers, and they'll do meet and greets with their like 5-year-old, because their 5-year-old's the star of their channel, and they'll go out and let people come in their home and do stuff and meet their 5-year-old. I think it should be illegal to run channels about with your children. That's like child slave labor. Like you see all these big influencer families with their kids and they feature them. There was one, I can't remember her name. She would feature videos on her daughter's training bra or her daughter's first menstrual cycle. And perverts watch this stuff. And I'm going, like, how would you like to live? Like, remember when we were young, how would we like our whole entire lives to be on your dumbass parents' YouTube channel for everyone to see for all of time? And not to mention perverts and predators. Just the world has gone crazy, and I think it should be illegal to have your kids in these channels. It's, I don't like restricting free speech, but I think Australia is trying its hardest to make it so that kids can't get access to this as easy. And so I doubt America will do something like this, but something has to be done, because they are harvesting our children for all sorts of means and matters. And it's on you. Ultimately, you're the parents. You can make the call, and your kids are going to hate you. They're going to scream. They're going to flip out. They'll probably be addicted. They might lose it, but you're the adult here, and you have the bigger scope. You have the bigger picture. You have the bigger experience and concept of the world. Your kids' concept of the world is just really tiny in their little, I want to have fun and be popular. You have the bigger scope, so you understand more what's going on. And if they'll argue everything and you're the boss, We keep forgetting that. Renee says, have you heard of Eugenia? Is that Eugenia Cooney, the anorexic girl? Yeah, her mother needs to be arrested. I can't even watch that. It makes me so sick. It makes me so sick to watch that girl starve and make money. And why are people watching this? It's almost like as soon as they did Jerry Springer on TV, they start ruining our culture. It's like Jerry Springer on crack, 24/7 accessibility. Like it is so disturbing. And so as much as the good thing, like, that China doesn't let this stuff in their internet. So it's doable. They don't let their kids have access to this. They do let people watch videos of how messed up America is. So Chinese people think all Americans are crazy when they're not. So they'll show you the extreme version. They do let you watch that in China, interestingly enough. But there needs to be more education and less of this garbage. It is insane. And that is my show. Unless anybody has any questions, we will cover the Dracula 2026 in 2026. We will be having the show on Sunday for the winter solstice. And anyone who's doing a channel, stop watching these big channels. They make so much money, these influencers. Watch small people who talk about logical stuff. Remember when YouTube was about YouTube? Now you can tell that the global system has taken over a long time ago with all the podcasts because it's so corporate and professional and branded and structured. It's so crazy. My mom believes it started with Married with Children and Roseanne. Yeah, maybe. I mean, it probably started, I think it's a constant evolution. You could probably say sexual revolution and all this stuff. And the 70s was pretty rotten. Like there was some pretty horrible stuff in the 70s that was happening in the culture, but it got cleaned up. Like in Times Square, you can see serial killers, but this is going online. This is a whole MK Ultra crazy world. And your children and even you could be the targets. You just never know what it's doing to your brain. And we need to have discussions like this because these are the vampires on the internet. And they're after the soul and the blood of your kids. And that's all I have to say today. We're going to be winter solsticing. I'm probably maybe have a little wine on the winter solstice. 3 p.m. Eastern, I will be here. And of course, then I'm taking a break for the Christmas and I'll be back in the new year and it will be branded and we'll be doing the spiritual Sundays on Sundays. The Wednesdays at 7 p.m. we'll be doing sort of occult and conspiracy. And then Thursdays, vampire folklore. And we will definitely talk about any of the films and the movies. I'm designing an intro for the Dracula, the vampire kind of show, like a 1-minute intro, and then there'll be a more spiritual intro for the other 2 shows with energy work, spiritual stuff, criticisms on religion and spiritual stuff, or things that are not good for you and bad for you, about being more independent and knowing thyself so you don't get duped, that kind of stuff. We will be going there in 2026. So I will see you guys on Sunday. And if I don't see you on Sunday, have a really great holiday. I appreciate you guys for supporting. Thumbs up, subscribe, and we will see you soon, guys. Take care.